Good evening, everybody. I'm Brittany Kuhlman, and this is my EDL 856 case study, a new rule for the parent organization. So, first of all, when we're looking at the facts, I'm a principal at a school. Our PTA has disaffiliated with their national organization, and they called a meeting with me to discuss parent and community involvement within the school. The principal, I noticed that my parents are upset. They are upset that there is a lack of involvement of parents in the school. And I'm confused because I felt that I kept the PTA informed and well involved within our school. Specifically, the PTA wanted to change back to school night. They said it typically left parents confused by just allowing their students to go find their schedules and meet the teachers. They don't actually know what the teachers are teaching. Um, so they wanted to change it to more of a back to school week with meetings. And so this would be after contract time. Our teachers would be expected to stay after school every week or every day that week, and we would focus on two subjects a night. But all the remaining teachers would have to stay and be available to answer any questions. They also wanted to change conferences to be in the American Education Week, so that way they would be free to participate in all the meetings and go meet with all the teachers on the other evenings. The parents also want to be involved in policy making, and prior to this meeting, the parents had a meeting to establish committees without the principal knowing. So, any legal and ethical issues, the parents aren't educated on educational laws. The president is an attorney, however, so he or she should know better than to try and overstep boundaries or try to become basically a new school board. And then also ethically, the parents didn't involve the principal in making this new committee, they're just bringing it to them. So the new PTA group wants to be more involved in school-related decisions, such as evaluations and policies, and while the principal is encouraging more involvement, is wary of their request. Our missing information for people, the school superintendent and the school board, I think are vital people for this issue. Our school board, it sounds like the PTA is trying to become a new school board. They want to evaluate teachers, they want to be involved in policy, teacher performance, curriculum, and also the school evaluation. Um, and so I think it would be important for our superintendent and our school board to understand what's going on. Place wise, we don't know any demographics of the school or their community. Are we talking about high school, middle school, elementary? What is typical? What was the PTA involvement before? And then program wise, our current policies as a school district on PTA groups. And then also what has changed for them to disaffiliate from the national organization, as well as think that they need to be way more involved in those policy making, curriculum, and evaluations. All right, so again, prioritizing our information, that new PTA group wants to have more involvement in policy and educational decisions. Me as the principal, I'm all for parent involvement, but I'm still thinking that if they're involved in those policy making decisions, that's crossing a line. And so we need to come up with a collaborative um, decision to get the best of both worlds where we have more parent involvement, but they're also staying within the parent lane. They are not trying to become a new school board. So my options on how to handle this situation, the first one, it would be just do nothing, allow for those parents to be more involved and um, let them try and start to do teacher evaluations and determine what curriculum we should have. Option two would be surveying our parents, getting data on what they think they should be involved in, not just this group of parents, but our district. Encourage our teachers to be more involved with our parents so that way parents understand what's going on within the classroom. And then maybe even contact other schools and ask them what their PTA is involved in, how their organization runs. Option three would include all of option 2 plus informing our school superintendent about what is going on. I Even if I don't have any input from the superintendent, I still think that is something they should be aware of. Um, Again, survey parents about what type of involvement that they think they should have in the school. I do think we should also inform the school board about the situation because we have like a mini school board trying to jump the reins and have more control. I think we should incorporate two-way communication, which involves the survey, but we need to make sure that we're getting that communication back from parents. And then, based off data, we should collaborate and find a good balance of involvement between our parents and the school. So, our pros and cons. Um, Pros for all of them is we're involving our parents. VSC survey, we're asking about what type of involvement we are. We are encouraging that involvement by a two-way communication where we're asking for feedback, and then we are working together to benefit what's best for our students. The cons could be if we don't do anything, the PTA is going to overstep their boundaries. Later on, we could have conflict between the school and the community because we are shooting down their ideas. And then also, since they're wanting to change back to school night, teachers are going to have to stay later past their contract hours. So, for my plan, I think option 3 is the best way to go. So, I would meet with the superintendent, discuss the meeting that I had with the PTA group, and maybe create a plan that we can show the school board of what's going on. Then we will meet with the school board and we can develop a survey, for all parents to determine the level of involvement. We can send that survey out to parents with links ready for different languages. So not only it's just English parents, we can have multiple surveys sent out and then we can evaluate that data. We will go over the survey results with our PTA group. We can contact other schools and also have that as data on what their PTAs do. I would then hold a teacher meeting encouraging teachers to be more involved with their parents and by the use of two-way communication as well as just getting the parents more involved in school, maybe even having an activity where parents are allowed to come in just so that way they can see what's going on within the classroom. Then I would collaborate with all my stakeholders. I'd involve them on the results of the survey, and then we can come up all together with a plan to move forward with our PTA and what type of involvement they will have in our school. And then lastly, that change or the decision that we have with our PTA group should be based off the data, and we should be all working together to help best benefit our students, not just to have control over one. To implement, again, I want to show my parents that I'm interested in their concern and meet with my stakeholders to develop that survey. Phase 2, we need to send out the survey to stakeholders, encourage our parents to respond, and as well as encourage our teachers to have that two-way communication with parents and requesting the feedback. We don't just want to tell people what we're doing, we want them to ask us questions, we want them to give us feedback. Phase 3, we're going to evaluate that data with all of our stakeholders and come up with our plan on how we can best incorporate our PTA group. And then phase 4, again, based off of our data, we will create the role of our new PTA group and we'll continue building relationships with our parents and our community. This assignment related to the standard by allowing me to work through a real life situation and find a solution to both please parents and the school. This assignment was relevant because having conversations with parents about involvement in PTA associations will be a normal occurrence for me. As a school leader, I would be thrilled to have a meeting with the PTA about being more involved in our school. But as the principal, I need to make sure that they are not overstepping their boundaries. That could lead to either potential lawsuits and misconduct within the school. After completing this assignment, I can understand the significance of having a more involved PTA group for your school. However, there are limits to what our PTA should have control over. As a school district, we have measures put in place to evaluate the school, choose curriculum, and deal with policies, and those are set by the state. And I believe that communication is key. So we just need to communicate that to our parents. And as long as we're involving the community and parents with our functions of the school, we should be able to avoid situations such as a new PTA group forming and trying to create a mini school board to start changing a bunch of policies. As a future leader, I will make sure that I am collaborating with all my stakeholders to ensure everyone is on the same page and has confidence within our school. And that's it. Thank you.